By 2004, Nintendo stood at a crossroads that would determine whether the gaming giant would ascend to unprecedented heights or plummet into irrelevance. The company that had once dominated the gaming landscape found itself struggling in third place, behind PlayStation and Xbox, desperately needing a revolutionary product to reclaim its throne. What emerged from this critical moment was a small silver clamshell device that industry skeptics dismissed as Nintendo's strangest gamble yet, but would ultimately become the best-selling handheld console of all time. This is the story of the Nintendo DS. The genesis of this revolutionary handheld began in mid-2002, sparked by an obsession that had been brewing within Nintendo's leadership for years. Former Nintendo president Hiroshi Yamauchi, who had guided the company from 1949 until 2002, possessed an unwavering fascination with dual-screen gaming devices. This persistent vision had haunted the minds of his successors, particularly Satoru Iwata and creative mastermind Shigeru Miyamoto, who found themselves reverse-engineering concepts around Yamauchi's dual-screen mandate. The pressure was immense, as Yamauchi himself would later crystallize the stakes with a prophetic declaration. If the DS succeeds, we will rise to heaven, but if it fails, we will sink to hell. On November 13, 2003, Nintendo teased a new game system for 2004, but kept the details secret, saying it wouldn't replace the Game Boy Advance or GameCube. Then, on January 20, 2004, they revealed the Nintendo DS. President Satoru Iwata promised it was built on a completely different concept, aiming to deliver a unique gaming experience for the 21st century.
DS, dual screens. DS, developer system. DS not only changes Nintendo, it changes our industry.
The Nintendo DS was a clamshell handheld with two stacked 3-inch screens. The bottom one a touchscreen you could use with a stylus or your finger. Its design took cues from Nintendo's old Game & Watch devices and the Game Boy Advance SP, and the DS's hardware showed just how much tech Nintendo packed into its ambitious design. The system operated on dual-ARM processors, a 67 MHz main CPU handling gameplay mechanisms and video rendering, paired with a 33 MHz coprocessor managing sound output, Wi-Fi support, and Game Boy Advance compatibility mode. The device included 4 MB of PS RAM, expandable via the Game Boy Advance slot, alongside 256 KB of serial flash memory for storage. Each LCD screen operated at 256 by 192 pixel resolution with 18-bit color depth, capable of displaying 262,144 colors while refreshing at 60 Hz for smooth visual performance. Battery life extended from 6 to 10 hours depending on usage patterns, powered by a rechargeable 850 mAh lithium-ion battery, requiring approximately 4 hours for complete charging. Connectivity features distinguish the DS from all previous handheld systems. Built-in wireless networking enabled multiple DS consoles to interact directly within a short range, without requiring existing wireless infrastructure. Alternatively, users could connect online through Nintendo's Wi-Fi connection service, facilitating global multiplayer gaming and communication through the integrated PictoChat software, supporting up to 16 simultaneous users. The control scheme represented a radical departure from traditional handheld gaming conventions. The DS featured 4 lettered buttons labeled X, Y, A, and B, arranged alongside a directional pad, start, select, and power buttons. 2 shoulder buttons crowned the device's upper edge, while the bottom housed a Game Boy Advance cartridge slot. The overall button layout deliberately resembled the Super Nintendo Entertainment System controller, providing familiar reference points for experienced gamers while accommodating the revolutionary touchscreen interface. Nintendo saw the DS as a way to get more people into gaming, with a touchscreen that was easy to pick up no matter your experience. It was a big shift from the industry's focus on flashy graphics, putting accessibility and new ideas first. North America received the DS first on November 21, 2004, priced at $149.99, marking the first time Nintendo had prioritized the American market for a hardware launch. This decision capitalized on Black Friday shopping momentum, with the DS launching at Universal City Walk EB Games in Los Angeles amid considerable fanfare. Japan followed on December 2, 2004, with the system retailing for 15,000 yen in a distinctive titanium color, though the Japanese launch proceeded more quietly compared to the American spectacle. The DS blew past expectations, racking up over 3 million pre-orders and selling 500,000 units in its first US week. By the end of 2004, it had shipped 2.8 million worldwide. The DS's launch games showed off just how many different ways you could play on the system. North American launch titles included Metroid Prime Hunters as a pack-in demo, alongside third-party offerings like Feel the Magic from Sega, Spider-Man 2 from Activision, and Super Mario 64 DS, showcasing Nintendo's commitment to established franchises. Japanese audiences received The Prince of Tennis 2005 and Puyo Pop Fever from Sega, while European markets enjoyed expanded launch lineups featuring Asphalt Urban GT, Rayman DS, and various regional exclusives. Even China got its own spin on the DS's launch. In June 2005, it arrived as the iQOO DS, complete with a few firmware tweaks and local titles like Polarium and WarioWare Touched. It was all part of Nintendo's push to break into new markets, tailoring the hardware and games to fit the local audience. Nintendo's promotional campaigns emphasized the touch concept across all territories, with North America adopting the slogan, "Touching is good." These marketing efforts positioned the DS as fundamentally different from traditional gaming devices. Some of the ads were wildly unconventional, including a UK commercial that stirred controversy.
Go on, touch it. It won't bite.
Touch me.
The launch software catalog revealed Nintendo's strategic approach to demonstrating the DS's revolutionary capabilities. Super Mario 64 DS emerged as the flagship title, requiring extensive modifications to accommodate the dual-screen interface and touch controls. Developer Motoi Okamoto later revealed the intense development process, describing how Shigeru Miyamoto would arrive at 11 p.m. after completing board meetings, announcing, "It's Mario time," before launching planning sessions that extended until 2 a.m. This grueling schedule represented what Okamoto called the craziest crunch time that I've ever experienced in my development career. Yet the team persevered because, if the god of games was working so much, could we give up? You start out as Yoshi, but can unlock Mario, Luigi, and Wario, each with their own special moves. There are 30 extra stars, new secret stages, fresh bosses, and a bunch of touchscreen minigames to mess around with. It even has a local multiplayer mode where you can race friends to grab stars. It's the same legendary adventure, but with more characters, more content, and more reasons to explore every corner of the castle. Brain training emerged as an unexpected phenomenon that fundamentally altered perceptions of what constituted video game entertainment. Dr. Kawashima's Brain Training launched in 2005 as an education title designed to help users maintain mental acuity through daily exercises. The game required players to hold the DS sideways like a book, writing answers to mathematical and logical puzzles on the touchscreen while measuring mental age through performance metrics. Nobody predicted the title's massive commercial success, with industry observers initially questioning whether Brain Training qualified as a legitimate game. The software's impact extended far beyond sales figures, establishing Nintendo's philosophy of incorporating game elements into lifestyle concepts. This approach would later influence major releases including Wii Fit in 2007, Ring Fit Adventure in 2019, and even Nintendo's Alarmo clock device. Animal Crossing Wildworld capitalized on the DS's connectivity features while building upon Brain Training's expanded demographic appeal. Producer Katsuya Eguchi credited Dr. Kawashima's success with creating opportunities for other unconventional titles, explaining in a 2006 interview with Wired that people are buying the DS for brain age, and we're benefiting from that. They also noticed that Animal Crossing is simple and welcoming, easy to enjoy even if you've never played a game before. Wildworld transformed the franchise by removing region-specific holidays like Christmas and Halloween, while fully utilizing Wi-Fi capabilities for global communication. The turnip trading system became particularly popular, with players coordinating across time zones to maximize profits through fluctuating market prices. Iguchi found this economic gameplay amusing, noting how players talk about what price the turnips are selling in their village and how they'll beg friends to open up their village when the prices are high. The title succeeded remarkably at attracting female players to gaming, contributing to women comprising 44% of DS owners worldwide. This demographic expansion proved crucial for Nintendo's long-term strategy, as the gaming industry had previously demonstrated what journalist Keza McDonald described as being incredibly shit at involving women in any way. Mario Kart DS revolutionized portable racing through its implementation of online multiplayer functionality. Released in 2005, the title represented Nintendo's first foray into internet-based handheld gaming, allowing players to compete globally through Nintendo Wi-Fi connection. The game featured both familiar tracks from previous entries and entirely new circuits designed specifically for dual-screen play, with the upper screen displaying the racing action, while the lower screen provided map information and touch-controlled power-up management. For the first time in the series, players could design and display their own custom emblem on their karts, adding a personal touch to every race. Mario Kart DS also introduced Rob, a deep-cut Nintendo character making his debut in the Mario Kart roster. The online infrastructure supported regional matchmaking, enabling players to select regional or worldwide opponents, along with non-location-specific settings. Mario Kart DS became one of the most successful entries in the franchise, establishing online play as an essential component of future portable gaming experiences. Nintendogs captured audiences through its virtual pet simulation, utilizing the DS's microphone and touchscreen to create unprecedented interaction possibilities. Players could speak to their digital companions, with the voice recognition system responding to custom commands and pet names. The touchscreen enabled direct petting, feeding, and grooming activities, while the built-in clock ensured pets required attention even when the system was turned off. The title achieved remarkable mainstream penetration, becoming one of the DS's best-selling games while attracting demographics typically uninterested in traditional gaming. Professor Layton and the Curious Village introduced audiences to the puzzle-adventure genre through Level 5's masterful blend of brain teasers and narrative mystery. Released in 2008, the game featured well-mannered archaeologist Professor Herschel Layton and his assistant Luke investigating supernatural occurrences in a mysterious village. Players solved increasingly complex logic puzzles while uncovering clues about the town's bizarre inhabitants and their peculiar behaviors. The series became defining content for the DS platform, with subsequent entries Professor Layton and the Diabolical Box, Professor Layton and the Unwound Future, and Professor Layton and the Last Spectre, building upon the original's success. The final DS entry, Last Spectre, served as a prequel exploring how Layton first met Luke, providing narrative closure while maintaining the series' signature blend of challenging puzzles and charming storytelling. Pokémon Diamond and Pearl represented the franchise's fourth-generation debut on DS hardware, introducing three-dimensional environments while maintaining the core collection and battle mechanics that defined the series. Released from 2007 through 2012, the DS Pokémon games revolutionized portable RPG experiences through online trading and battling capabilities. The titles detected specific Game Boy Advance cartridges inserted in the lower slot, unlocking additional Pokémon encounters and bonus content that remained permanently accessible even after removing the GBA game. Game Freak preserved traditional RPG elements while dramatically increasing connectivity between players through Nintendo Wi-Fi connection. Touchscreen commands, online creature trading, and global battle systems transformed Pokémon from primarily single-player experiences into connected social gaming platforms. These innovations established foundations for modern mobile gaming mechanics, with daily check-in requirements and social interaction features becoming standard across multiple entertainment platforms. Tetris DS, released in 2006, took the timeless puzzle formula and gave it a fresh Nintendo twist. Each mode was themed around classic Nintendo franchises like Super Mario Bros., The Legend of Zelda, and Metroid, pairing nostalgic visuals with the addictive block-stacking gameplay. The DS's dual screens displayed both the main playfield and extra animations, while the touchscreen offered optional stylus controls for a new way to play. With robust single-player challenges and up to 10-player local wireless matches, plus online play through Nintendo Wi-Fi connection, it became one of the most celebrated modern takes on Tetris, blending retro charm with portable multiplayer fun. Elite Beat Agents epitomized the DS's experimental gaming possibilities through its rhythm-action gameplay. Players used the stylus to tap and trace patterns synchronized with musical beats, directing a team of cheerleaders helping people overcome life challenges. The game's scenarios ranged from assisting artists rediscovering inspiration to helping students pass exams, all synchronized to energetic musical soundtracks. Elite Beat Agents became a cult classic, inspiring numerous similar rhythm games across multiple platforms. Beyond its games, the DS came packed with built-in features that made it a social device in its own right. PictoChat let up to 16 DS users nearby swap text, doodles, and notes right out of the box. No setup needed. It became a digital version of passing notes in class. Download, play, let friends join in on multiplayer using just one game cartridge, making it easy and cheap to play together. Nintendo even set up in-store kiosks where you could download free demos, a concept they later brought to the Wii. The DS's huge success led to the DS Lite. Launched in Japan on March 2, 2006, it fixed complaints about the bulky design, swapping it for a slimmer, sleeker look with rounded edges and bright color options, turning it from one of Nintendo's clunkiest consoles into one of its best-looking. The DS Lite wasn't just prettier, it had brighter screens, a longer-lasting battery, and a slightly bigger stylus. Nintendo also moved the start and select buttons for a more comfortable feel. The DS Lite sold out almost instantly in Japan. Even with 550,000 units at launch, stores stayed out of stock for months, and any new shipments disappeared within days. Celebrity endorsements transformed the DS Lite into a mainstream lifestyle accessory. Prominent figures including Beyoncé, Zach Braff, and Donald Faison promoted the device, establishing gaming hardware as fashionable consumer electronics for the first time. The sleek design enabled comfortable public use on trains, in cafes, and other social environments where traditional gaming devices would have appeared inappropriate. The DS Lite was so in demand that a shipment worth about $2.3 million was stolen in Hong Kong, including consoles headed for Europe and the UK. The Nintendo DSi arrived in 2008, representing the most significant hardware evolution since the original DS launch. Built upon an unreleased larger DS Lite prototype, the DSi featured dual cameras, enlarged 3.25-inch displays, and internal storage capabilities. The ARM9 processor operated at 133 MHz, doubling the previous speed, while 16 megabytes of RAM provided 4 times the memory capacity of earlier models. Internal storage included 256 megabytes of flash memory with SD card expansion, supporting up to 32 gigabytes capacity. The DSi introduced the Nintendo DSi Shop, enabling downloadable game purchases for the first time in handheld gaming history. However, the redesign eliminated Game Boy Advance compatibility by removing the secondary cartridge slot, preventing access to GBA titles and certain DS accessories, including Rumble Pack devices and Guitar Hero controllers. The 840 mAh battery provided 9 to 14 hours of gameplay despite the enhanced features, representing shorter duration than the DS Lite's 15 to 19-hour capacity. The Nintendo DSi XL launched in 2009, offering substantially larger screens measuring 4.2 inches while maintaining 256 by 192 pixel resolution. This fourth DS model represented the first pure-size variation in the product line, featuring 30% larger displays compared to the standard DSi. Nintendo president Satoru Iwata positioned the DSi XL as a shared household device rather than personal portable gaming system, suggesting buyers establish a steady place on a table in the living room for multi-user access. The larger form factor appealed to older demographics who appreciated enhanced screen visibility, while dual stylus designs included both standard and thicker rounded options for different usage scenarios. The DSi models collectively sold approximately 41 million units, significantly below the DS and DS Lite's commercial performance. Critics noted that the digital cameras lacked compelling gaming applications, while the loss of GBA compatibility disappointed longtime Nintendo fans. DSiWare purchases became non-transferable between DSi and DSi XL systems, creating consumer frustration when upgrading hardware. The DS's impact went beyond sales. Its touchscreen got people comfortable with touch controls years before the iPhone. As journalist Jeremy Parrish put it, the DS had basically primed the entire world for iPhone gaming, paving the way for mobile application ecosystems. However, smartphone success effectively caused the DS market to implode by the early 2010s, according to Parrish's analysis. The iPhone and subsequent Android devices provided touch gaming experiences without requiring dedicated hardware purchases, rendering handheld gaming consoles increasingly obsolete for casual audiences. The DS had successfully expanded gaming demographics, but these new players migrated to smartphones rather than remaining loyal to Nintendo platforms. Nevertheless, its innovations influenced every subsequent handheld system, from Sony's PlayStation Vita to Nintendo's own 3DS successor. The dual-screen concept appeared in various forms across different manufacturers, though none achieved the DS's elegant integration of multiple display technologies. Peripheral accessories demonstrated Nintendo's willingness to experiment with unconventional input methods during the DS era. The Guitar Hero On Tour series introduced guitar grip controllers that attached to the GBA slot, featuring 4 colored buttons and wrist straps that transformed the DS into an uncomfortable but functional rhythm gaming device. Easy Piano provided a 13-key keyboard accessory, enabling music education software, while Tony Hawk's Motion included motion sensors for skateboarding simulation games. Learn with Pokémon Typing Adventure bundled a complete wireless keyboard, marketed as educational software to convince parents that Pokémon games served academic purposes. Japan received additional unique peripherals including a digital TV tuner, face-training camera accessories, and slide controllers that converted the entire DS into computer mouse functionality. The DS laid the groundwork for Nintendo's future in handheld gaming. Its successor, the 3DS, kept the dual-screen clamshell design while adding glasses-free 3D, but the original DS's legacy is unmatched. Selling over 154 million units, it became Nintendo's best-selling system, the world's top-selling handheld, and the second best-selling console ever, just behind the PlayStation 2. From brain age turning grandparents into gamers to Nintendogs becoming a fashion accessory, the DS wasn't just played. It was carried, shared, and remembered. Thanks for joining me on this trip through another part of Nintendo's history. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like. It really means a lot to us. If you've got suggestions for other cool gaming phenomena, leave a comment below. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss more videos like this one. See you next time.